The morning sun cast long shadows across the massive shipyard as Captain Maria Santos stood before the largest warship humanity had ever built. The UNS Titan stretched over 3 kilometers in length and rose nearly half a kilometer high. Its dark metal hull gleamed under the artificial lights while thousands of workers made final preparations for launch day. Maria felt a mix of pride and nervousness as she looked at her new command. She had spent 15 years working her way up through the ranks of the United Nations Space Fleet. Now, at 38 years old, she was about to captain the most powerful ship in human space. The weight of responsibility pressed down on her, shoulders like a heavy blanket. Commander Lisa Parker approached from behind, carrying a datapad filled with departure schedules. Lisa had been Maria's friend since their academy days and now served as her tactical officer. The two women had served together on 3 different ships over the past decade. Maria trusted Lisa's judgment more than anyone else in the fleet. "The final systems check is complete, Captain," Lisa said with a small smile. "All departments report ready for departure. The crew is excited to take her out for the first time." Maria nodded and turned to face the ship again. The Titan carried a crew of 8,000 people from dozens of different Earth nations. It possessed enough firepower to level a small moon and shields strong enough to withstand direct hits from nuclear weapons. The ship represented humanity's growing confidence as they expanded further into the galaxy. Dr. Amy Rodriguez joined them on the observation deck. Amy served as the ship's chief science officer and xenobiology specialist. She was younger than both Maria and Lisa at only 32, but had already earned 3 doctorate degrees. Her expertise in alien life forms made her valuable for any first contact situations they might encounter. "I still can't believe we're really doing this," Amy said as she stared up at the massive vessel. "When I was a kid reading about space exploration, I never imagined ships this big were possible. The engineering required to build something like the Titan is incredible." The 3 women boarded a shuttle that would take them to the ship's command bridge. As they flew around the Titan's hull, Maria could see the countless weapon emplacements and sensor arrays that covered its surface. The ship looked more like a floating city than a traditional warship. Its size made everything else in the shipyard look tiny by comparison. The bridge occupied the top center of the ship and offered views in all directions through reinforced transparent aluminum windows. Maria took her place in the captain's chair, while Lisa moved to the tactical station and Amy went to the science console. The bridge crew of 40 officers took their positions at various workstations around the large circular room. "All stations. Report ready for departure, Captain," announced the navigation officer. "We have clearance from orbital control to begin our maiden voyage." Maria took a deep breath and pressed the ship-wide communication button. "Attention all hands. This is the captain. Today we make history as we take humanity's greatest achievement into the unknown regions of space. Our mission is to patrol the outer colonies and show the galaxy that Earth stands ready to defend its people and interests. I'm proud to serve with each and every one of you." The massive engines came to life with a deep rumble that could be felt throughout the ship. Slowly, the Titan began to move away from the shipyard and toward the jump point that would take them into hyperspace. The journey to their patrol sector would take several days, even at faster than light speeds. As Earth grew smaller behind them, Maria felt a sense of excitement building in her chest. The Outer Rim territories had been quiet for years, but intelligence reports suggested unknown forces might be moving in the area. The Titan was being sent to investigate and establish a human presence in that region of space. Lisa pulled up star charts on her console, showing their planned route. "We'll be traveling through 7 different star systems before reaching our patrol area. Most of them are uninhabited, but a few have small mining colonies that will be glad to see us." Amy was already studying long-range sensor data from their destination. The interesting thing is that several automated probes have gone silent in that sector over the past year. It could be equipment failure, but the pattern suggests something else might be happening out there. Maria nodded thoughtfully. The probe disappearances were one of the reasons the Titan had been sent on this mission. Command wanted to know if hostile forces were operating in human territory. The ship's massive sensor arrays and powerful weapons made it perfect for investigating potential threats. The jump to hyperspace was smooth and barely noticeable thanks to the Titan's advanced engines. Once they were traveling faster than light, Maria allowed herself to relax slightly. The ship was performing perfectly, and the crew was working together well. She had confidence they could handle whatever they might find in the outer rim. Unknown. To Maria and her crew, their departure had not gone unnoticed. The Titan's enormous energy signature created ripples in space that were easily detected by alien civilizations that had been quietly watching humanity's expansion. Several species had monitoring stations hidden throughout the galaxy that tracked human ship movements. In a distant star system, an elegant vessel with curved lines and silver hull received automated alerts about the human ship. The crew of this ship belonged to a species that looked very much like the elves from human fairy tales. They had been observing humanity for decades and were both impressed and concerned by human technological progress. On another world made of living crystal beings that communicated through light and vibration also detected the Titan's passage. These ancient creatures had been traveling between stars for thousands of years. They were curious about the young species that built such large warships. Both alien civilizations began preparing their own ships to investigate this new human vessel. They wanted to learn more about the species that could build something so massive. The Titan's maiden voyage was about to become much more interesting than anyone aboard could have imagined. 3 days into their journey, the Titan emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler system. Captain Maria Santos stood on the bridge reviewing their patrol schedule when the science officer called out in surprise, "Captain, I'm detecting an unknown energy signature directly ahead of us," reported Lieutenant Kate Morgan from the sensor station. "The readings don't match any known human or alien technology in our databases." Maria moved to the main view screen as Lisa Parker hurried to her tactical console. The empty space in front of them shimmered like heat waves rising from hot pavement. Then, without warning, a sleek silver ship appeared where nothing had been moments before. The alien vessel was beautiful in a way that took Maria's breath away. Its hull curved and flowed like liquid metal with no sharp edges or angular surfaces. Strange symbols glowed along its sides in patterns that seemed to shift and dance. The ship was much smaller than the Titan, but radiated an aura of advanced technology. "Red alert," Maria ordered as alarms began sounding throughout the ship. "All hands to battle stations. Raise shields and charge weapons, but do not target the alien vessel unless they show hostile intent." Dr. Amy Rodriguez rushed from her laboratory to the bridge carrying her first contact protocols. She had dreamed of this moment her entire career, but had never expected it to happen so soon. Her hands shook slightly as she activated the universal translation systems. "Captain, the alien ship is not powering weapons," Lisa reported from Tactical. "In fact, I'm not detecting any weapon systems at all. Their technology is so advanced I can barely understand what my sensors are telling me." The alien ship moved closer with graceful movements that reminded Maria of a dancer. No human vessel could maneuver with such fluid precision. Whoever built this ship had technology far beyond anything Earth possessed. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," announced the communications officer. "It's coming on multiple frequencies using mathematical progressions. They're trying to establish contact." Amy stepped forward and began working with the translation. "Computers. I'm detecting patterns that suggest intelligence and peaceful intent. The signal structure indicates they understand we're a different species and are trying to find common ground for communication." Maria felt her heart beating faster as she realized she was about to become the first human to speak with an alien. Intelligence. Everything she said and did in the next few minutes could determine the future relationship between their species. The main view screen flickered and then showed the interior of the alien ship. Maria gasped when she saw the being standing before the camera. The alien looked remarkably similar to the elves from human mythology. She had pointed ears and an angular face with large eyes that seemed to hold ancient wisdom. Her skin had a slight silver tint and her hair flowed like moonlight. "I am Captain Zarathel of the scout vessel Starweaver," the alien said in perfect English that the translation computers had somehow managed to decode. "I speak for the Celestial Grove Federation. We have been observing your species for many cycles and are impressed by your rapid advancement." Maria stepped forward and tried to project calm confidence even though her mind was racing. "I am Captain Maria Santos of the United Nations Space Fleet vessel Titan. On behalf of humanity, I greet you and your people. We come in peace and seek knowledge and friendship among the stars." Zarathel tilted her head in what might have been curiosity or amusement. "Your ship is enormous by our standards, Captain Santos. We had not expected humans to build vessels of such size. May I ask what purpose drives the construction of such a mighty warship? The question caught Maria off guard. She realized that the Titan's massive size and obvious military nature might send the wrong message to peaceful aliens. The Titan serves as both protector and explorer. We built her large enough to carry everything we might need for long missions, far from Earth. Her weapons exist to defend against hostile forces, not to threaten peaceful species like yours. Behind Zarathel, other elven crew members moved with the same fluid grace. Their ship's interior looked more like a garden than a spacecraft, with living plants growing from the walls and ceiling. Soft light seemed to emanate from the plants themselves, creating a warm and welcoming atmosphere. Your explanation is reasonable, Captain Santos, Zarathel replied. However, you should know that your passage through space has attracted attention from other species as well. The energy signature of your vessel can be detected from great distances. As if summoned by her words, space began to ripple again near the Titan's starboard side. A second alien ship appeared with technology that seemed even more advanced than the elves. This vessel looked like it was carved from a single massive crystal that pulsed with internal light. 2 alien contacts now, Captain, Lisa reported with barely controlled excitement. The second ship is even stranger than the first. My sensors can't penetrate their hull at all. Amy was frantically trying to establish communication with the second vessel when they received another transmission. The voice that came through was unlike anything human ears had ever heard. It sounded like wind chimes mixed with electronic music. Greetings, young travelers, the crystalline being said through the translation system. I am Keth Ira of the Vorthak Collective. We have journeyed far to examine your impressive construction. Your species shows remarkable engineering skill for one so recently emerged. Maria found herself conducting humanity's first diplomatic meeting with 2 alien species simultaneously. Both seemed peaceful, but she could sense tension between them. The elves and crystal beings apparently knew each other, but their relationship was complicated. Welcome, Keth Ira, Maria said carefully. We are honored to meet representatives of your people as well. Perhaps we could arrange a formal meeting to establish peaceful relations between our species. Zarathel and Keth Ira looked at each other through their respective view screens. Maria got the impression they were communicating in ways humans couldn't detect. After a long moment, Zarathel spoke first. The Celestial Grove has observed your species develop over many decades, Captain Santos. We believe in careful evaluation before making contact with younger civilizations. Your people show promise, but also concerning aggressive tendencies. Keth Ira's crystalline form seemed to pulse brighter. The Vorthak take a different approach. We prefer direct evaluation of new species' capabilities and intentions. Your massive vessel suggests either great wisdom in preparing for unknown dangers or dangerous ambitions for conquest. Maria realized she was walking a diplomatic tightrope. Both alien species seemed to have different philosophies about dealing with newcomer races. Whatever she said next could determine whether humanity gained allies or enemies among the stars. Both of your perspectives have merit, Maria said diplomatically. Humanity seeks to explore and learn, but we also know the galaxy can be dangerous. The Titan represents our hope for peaceful expansion backed by the strength to protect ourselves and our friends if necessary. Dr. Rodriguez stepped up beside Maria with her datapad full of first contact protocols. This moment would be studied by historians for centuries to come. 3 different species with vastly different technologies and philosophies were meeting for the first time in the vast emptiness of space. Captain Maria Santos made a decision that would change the course of human history. She invited both alien delegations aboard the Titan for formal negotiations. The ship's massive hangar bay could easily accommodate both visiting vessels while providing security for all parties. Both Captain Zarathel and Keth Ira are welcome to bring small delegations aboard our ship, Maria announced. We have prepared suitable quarters and meeting spaces. I believe face-to-face discussions will serve all our peoples better than talking through view screens. Zarathel seemed pleased by the invitation, while Keth Ira's crystalline form pulsed in what might have been approval. Within an hour, both alien ships had docked in the Titan's cavernous hangar bay. Human crew members gathered on observation decks to catch their first glimpse of real aliens. The elven delegation emerged from their ship with flowing movements that made them seem to dance rather than walk. Zarathel led 5 other elves who all possessed the same otherworldly beauty. They wore robes that seemed to be made from starlight itself and carried no visible weapons. The Vorthak delegation was even more unusual. Kathira's people looked like living sculptures made from different colored crystals. They communicated by flashing lights through their transparent bodies in complex patterns. Their leader, Kathira, stood nearly 3 meters tall and radiated soft blue light. Dr. Amy Rodriguez had prepared the main conference room for this historic meeting. She made sure the lighting and atmosphere would be comfortable for all 3 species. Her hands trembled with excitement as she checked the translation equipment one final time. Commander Lisa Parker positioned security teams throughout the ship, but kept them well hidden. She trusted Maria's judgment about inviting the aliens aboard, but her military training demanded caution. The weapon systems remained powered, but not targeted at the visiting ships. The first cultural misunderstanding happened almost immediately. When Zarathel entered the conference room, she noticed the tactical displays showing the Titan's weapon capabilities. Her graceful features showed concern as she studied the readouts. "Captain Santos, your ship carries enough firepower to destroy entire worlds," Zarathel said with worry in her voice. "The Celestial Grove has never encountered a species that builds such heavily armed vessels for exploration missions. This concerns us greatly." Before Maria could respond, Kathira's crystalline form flashed bright yellow. "The elves speak with the wisdom of those who have never faced true galactic dangers. Any species wise enough to explore the deep void must prepare for hostile encounters. Your weapons show practical thinking, not aggression." Zarathel turned toward the crystal being with obvious irritation. "The Vorthak have always believed that strength equals wisdom. Your people's aggressive expansion has caused problems throughout this galactic sector for millennia." "Aggressive expansion," Kathira replied with flashing red lights. "We explore and establish colonies where we find suitable worlds. If other species cannot defend their claimed territories, that demonstrates their weakness, not our aggression." Maria found herself mediating between 2 alien species who clearly had a complicated history. Dr. Rodriguez frantically took notes while trying to understand the cultural and political dynamics at play. Lisa monitored the discussion from the tactical station, ready to act if tensions escalated. "Perhaps we could focus on getting to know each other better," Maria suggested diplomatically. "Dr. Rodriguez has prepared presentations about human culture and history. We would also love to learn about your peoples and civilizations." Amy activated the holographic display system and began showing images of Earth and human colonies. The aliens watched with obvious interest as scenes of human cities, forests, and oceans filled the air above the conference table. She explained, "Human government systems art and scientific achievements." Zarathel seemed particularly fascinated by human diversity. "Your species shows remarkable variation in physical appearance and cultural practices. The Celestial Grove values such diversity, but we had not expected to find it in a single species." Kathira pulsed with purple light as she examined images of human technology. "Your development rate is unprecedented in our experience. Most species require thousands of years to achieve what humans have accomplished in mere centuries. This rapid advancement explains your impressive engineering capabilities. When it came time for the aliens to share information about their own peoples, the differences between them became even more apparent." Zarathel showed holographic images of beautiful forest worlds where cities grew from living trees. Her people lived in harmony with nature and had developed technology that worked with biological systems rather than replacing them. The elven civilization spanned dozens of worlds connected by ancient agreements and shared cultural values. They preferred to observe and study other species for long periods before making contact. Most of their technology focused on healing growing things and preserving knowledge. Kathira's presentation showed crystal cities that reached toward alien skies like geometric mountains. The Vorthak had been exploring space for over 10,000 years and established colonies throughout their region of the galaxy. Their technology was based on crystalline matrices that could store incredible amounts of energy and information. "The Vorthak Collective operates as a true democracy," Kathira explained. "Every major decision is made by all citizens communicating through light-based networks that connect our entire civilization. We have never known war among our own people, but we have defended ourselves against many hostile species." As the hours passed, it became clear that the three species had very different approaches to galactic exploration and diplomacy. Humans were aggressive and adaptable, but still learning. Elves were cautious and wise, but sometimes too slow to act. The Vorthak were ancient and powerful, but could be insensitive to younger species. The first real crisis came when long-range sensors detected multiple ships approaching their location. Lieutenant Kate Morgan called from the bridge with alarm in her voice. "Captain, we have 15 contacts approaching at high speed from the outer system. Their engine signatures don't match any known technology, and they're moving in attack formation." Lisa immediately went to full alert status, while Amy tried to determine if the approaching ships belonged to either alien species. Zarathel and Kathira both examined the sensor data with growing concern. "These are not our people," Zarathel said with worry. "The energy patterns suggest cyborg technology similar to the raider fleets that have been attacking isolated settlements." Kathira's crystal body flashed bright orange. "The plague ships have found us. These beings strip technology from other species to enhance their own cybernetic systems. They are drawn to areas where multiple advanced civilizations gather." Maria felt her stomach drop as she realized their first contact meeting had attracted exactly the kind of danger the Titan had been built to face. The raider fleet was closing fast, and all three species were now trapped in the same location. "How long until they reach us?" Maria asked as she moved toward the bridge. 20 minutes at their current speed, Captain," came the reply. "They're jamming our hyperspace system so we can't jump away." The historic first contact between three species was about to become a battle for survival. Captain Maria Santos rushed to the bridge with both alien leaders following close behind her. The main view screen showed 15 dark ships approaching in a tight formation. Each raider vessel bristled with weapons and appeared to be cobbled together from parts taken from dozens of different species. "Battle stations," Maria ordered as alarms echoed throughout the Titan. "All crew to emergency positions. Prepare for combat operations." Commander Lisa Parker was already coordinating defensive systems when the aliens reached the bridge. Zarathel moved with fluid grace, despite the ship's acceleration, while Kathira's crystalline form seemed to float rather than walk. "Captain, these raiders have been terrorizing this sector for months," Zarathel explained urgently. "They attack isolated ships and settlements to steal technology for their cybernetic enhancement projects. They're extremely dangerous and show no mercy." Kathira's crystal body flashed urgent red patterns. "The plague ships, as we call them, are controlled by beings who replace their original bodies with mechanical parts. They seek to consume all organic and technological life they encounter. Our individual ships cannot defeat a full raider fleet." Dr. Amy Rodriguez arrived on the bridge carrying data pads full of information about both alien species. "Captain, if we're going to fight together, we need to coordinate our different technologies and tactics. I've been studying their capabilities." Maria made a tactical decision that surprised everyone, including herself. "Zarathel and Kathira, I'm offering a temporary alliance. Pool our resources and fight as one fleet, or we all get destroyed separately. What do you say?" The elven captain and crystalline leader looked at each other with what might have been surprise. Their species had been rivals for centuries, but faced with a common enemy, they both nodded agreement. "The Celestial Grove accepts your alliance. Proposal, Captain Santos," Zarathel said formally. "Our ship carries advanced sensors and targeting systems that could help your weapons find weak points in raider armor." Kathira pulsed bright blue. "The Vorthak offer our energy shielding technology to protect all three vessels. Our crystalline matrices can absorb and redirect massive amounts of destructive force." Lisa immediately began integrating the alien technologies with the Titan's systems. The elven sensors were incredibly precise and could detect structural weaknesses that human instruments missed completely. The Vorthak shields created energy fields that could deflect attacks away from vital ship systems. "Incoming transmission from the raider fleet," announced the communications officer. "They're demanding we surrender all vessels for processing." The voice that came through the speakers was horrifying. It sounded like multiple voices speaking at once with mechanical distortion that hurt to listen to. "Biological and technological resources detected. Prepare for harvesting operations. Resistance will result in painful assimilation procedures." "Not today," Maria said grimly. "All ships move to attack formation. Target their lead vessel and prepare to fire on my command." The Battle began when the raiders opened fire at maximum range. Bright energy beams lanced through space toward the three Allied ships. The Titan's massive bulk absorbed several hits while the Vorthak shields protected the smaller alien vessels. "Return fire," Maria ordered. "All weapon systems target the nearest raider ship." The Titan's main guns spoke with thunder that could be felt throughout the ship. Massive particle beams reached across space and struck the lead raider vessel. Thanks to Elven targeting data, the shots hit weak points in the enemy armor and penetrated deep into their hull. Zarathel coordinated the sensor sweeps that revealed critical information about raider tactics. "Captain, they're trying to board. The largest target, which is your ship. Small attack craft are launching from their cargo bays." Lisa tracked the incoming boarding pods and directed point defense weapons to intercept them. The Titan's defensive guns filled space with explosive rounds that destroyed most of the attack craft before they could reach their target. Kethira's ship maneuvered with impossible precision as it focused its crystalline weapons on raider engines. Beams of pure energy sliced through armor plating like hot knives through butter. The Vorthak had been fighting for millennia, and their experience showed. Amy worked frantically to maintain communication between all three ships as the battle raged around them. The translation systems were struggling to keep up with rapid tactical exchanges between species that had never fought together before. "Raider reinforcements incoming," called Lieutenant Kate Morgan from the sensor station. 5 more ships jumping in from hyperspace. Maria felt her heart sink as the odds turned against them. 20 enemy ships versus 3 allies was not a battle they could win through firepower alone. They needed a different strategy. "Zarathel, can your people jam their communications?" Maria asked. "If we can prevent coordination between raider ships, we might be able to defeat them one group at a time." The Elven captain's fingers danced over crystalline controls that looked more like musical instruments than tactical systems. Jamming frequencies activated, Captain. The raiders are now isolated from each other and fighting as individual units. Kethira took advantage of the confusion by focusing all available Vorthak ships on the largest raider vessel. Coordinated. Crystal weapons overloaded its shields and caused massive explosions throughout its structure. The enemy flagship broke apart in a brilliant fireball. With their command ship destroyed, the remaining raiders lost coordination and began attacking randomly. Lisa directed the Titan's weapons to pick off isolated enemy vessels, while the alien ships provided support and protection. "We're winning," Amy reported with excitement. 8 raider ships destroyed, and the rest are pulling back to regroup. But the victory celebration was premature. The remaining raiders combined their forces and made a desperate charge toward the Titan. They intended to ram the human ship and take everyone down with them. "Brace for impact!" Maria shouted as 12 enemy vessels closed the distance. "All hands hold on!" Kethira's crystalline form suddenly blazed with intense light. "Redirecting all available power to shield matrices. Protect the Alliance at all costs." The Vorthak shields flared brilliant white as the raiders struck. Energy fields that could withstand star-level radiation absorbed the impact of multiple ships traveling at tremendous speed. The Titan shuddered, but held together. Lisa used the moment of contact to target the raiders at point-blank range. Every weapon the ship carried fired simultaneously in a devastating barrage that turned the attacking fleet into expanding clouds of debris. When the smoke-cleared space around them was filled with wreckage from 20 raider vessels. All 3 Allied ships had survived, though each bore scars from the fierce battle. The temporary alliance had achieved something none of them could have accomplished alone. "Status report," Maria called out as damage control teams rushed to repair. "Critical systems. Minor hull damage and some burned-out circuits," Lisa reported. "Nothing we can't fix. The alien technologies saved us from much worse damage." Zarathel and Kethira looked at each other with new respect. Their species had just fought side by side against a common enemy and discovered they made excellent allies despite their philosophical differences. 3 days after the battle, Captain Maria Santos stood in the main conference room aboard the Titan watching history being made. Representatives from 3 different species were signing the first interstellar alliance treaty in human history. The document would establish formal diplomatic relations and mutual defense agreements between their civilizations. Zarathel signed for the Celestial Grove Federation using flowing script that looked more like art than writing. Her people had spent the past few days getting to know the humans and had been impressed by their courage and loyalty during the battle. The initial concerns about human aggression had been replaced by respect for their character. Kethira's crystalline form pulsed bright gold as she added the Vorthak seal to the treaty. Her people communicated through light patterns that were recorded in special crystal matrices. The ancient civilization saw great potential in humanity's unique problem-solving abilities and adaptability. This alliance marks a new chapter for all our peoples, Maria said as she added her signature to the historic document. We have proven that different species can work together to face common challenges. The galaxy is a safer place when we stand united. Dr. Amy Rodriguez had been appointed as humanity's first ambassador to the new Tri-Species Alliance. She could, barely contain her excitement as she prepared for her new role. The scientific and cultural exchange possibilities were beyond anything she had ever imagined. The research opportunities are incredible, Amy told Maria privately. The elves have medical technologies that could eliminate most human diseases. The Vorthak possess energy systems that could solve Earth's power needs forever, and they want to learn from us too. Commander Lisa Parker had been busy studying the tactical data from their joint battle. The combination of human adaptability, elven precision, and Vorthak power had proven devastatingly effective against the Raiders. She was already developing new combat doctrines based on their alliance. Captain, the fleet coordination protocols we developed could revolutionize space warfare, Lisa reported. Each species brings different strengths that complement the others perfectly. Our enemies won't know what hit them. Zarathel had proposed an extensive cultural exchange program that would allow representatives from each species to visit the other's worlds. She was particularly interested in human art and music, which seemed to affect elven emotions in unexpected ways. Your people create beauty from chaos, Captain Santos, Zarathel explained. Elven art follows ancient patterns that celebrate natural harmony. Human creativity breaks those patterns and makes new forms of beauty we never imagined possible. The Yapar, elven captain, had also shared information about other species in the galaxy. There were dozens of different civilizations scattered among the stars with varying levels of technology and development. Most were peaceful, but some posed serious threats to younger species like humanity. Kethira offered technological partnerships that could advance human science by centuries. The Vorthak were particularly interested in human diversity and the way different cultures approach the same problems with completely different solutions. Your species thinks in ways that surprise even us, Kethira told Maria. We have observed the galaxy for 10,000 years, but humans show us new possibilities we never considered. This alliance will benefit all our peoples greatly. The crystalline being had also warned about ancient dangers sleeping in the deep void between galaxies. There were forces older than any current civilization that occasionally stirred and threatened all organic life. The Alliance would need to prepare for such threats in the future. Captain Santos received new orders from Earth Command that reflected humanity's changing role in the galaxy. The Titan was being redesignated as a diplomatic vessel rather than a pure warship. Its weapon systems would remain, but would be supplemented with research laboratories, cultural centers, and guest quarters for alien dignitaries. It's strange to think that a ship built for war might become a symbol of peace, Maria told Lisa as they watched construction crews installing new diplomatic facilities. But maybe that's how progress happens. We build strength to protect ourselves, and then use that strength to build something better. The Titan's massive size that had initially concerned the aliens now served a different purpose. The ship was large enough to accommodate delegations from multiple species simultaneously. Its powerful engines could carry diplomats and scientists between distant worlds quickly and safely. News of the Alliance spread rapidly through human space and caused great excitement on Earth. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe and had gained powerful allies among the stars. The knowledge and technology sharing agreements promised to solve many of Earth's most pressing problems. Other alien species began sending their own diplomatic missions to meet with the Alliance representatives. Word of successful cooperation between three very different civilizations had sparked hope throughout the galaxy. Many species had given up on the possibility of lasting peace. Dr. Rodriguez found herself busier than ever as she coordinated first contact protocols with dozens of new species. Each alien civilization had different customs, languages, and biological requirements. Her team of xenobiologists worked around the clock to prepare for each new encounter. "We're learning so much about life in the universe," Amy reported to Maria during one of their regular briefings. "Every species we meet teaches us something new about biology, chemistry, physics, or philosophy. The knowledge exchange is incredible." The Alliance faced its first major test when another raider fleet attacked, a human mining colony in the Outer Rim. The response was swift and coordinated. Elven scouts located the enemy fleet while Vorthak ships provided heavy firepower and human vessels contributed tactical flexibility. The raiders were defeated in less than an hour with minimal casualties among the defenders. Word of the victory spread quickly, and other raider groups began avoiding systems protected by the Alliance. The partnership was already making space safer for peaceful travelers. Maria often found herself reflecting on how much had changed since the Titan's maiden voyage. They had set out to show human strength and determination, but had instead discovered the power of cooperation and friendship. The galaxy seemed smaller, yet more wonderful now that humanity knew it was not alone. Standing on the observation deck, watching alien ships moving alongside the Titan, Maria felt a sense of pride and hope for the future. The massive warship that had drawn alien attention was now carrying delegations to establish new colonies where humans, elves, and Vorthak could live and work together. The final scene played out in the main hangar bay, where representatives from 7 different species had gathered to discuss forming an even larger galactic alliance. The Titan had become a meeting place where beings who had never seen each other could come together in safety and friendship. "Who would have thought that building the biggest gun in human space would lead to this?" Lisa commented as she watched the diverse group of aliens working together on trade agreements. Maria smiled as she watched Dr. Rodriguez enthusiastically, explaining human culture to a delegation of crystalline beings while Zarathel taught elven meditation techniques to human scientists. The universe was full of wonders, and they were just beginning to discover them all.